Judicial misconduct. There's a famous saying that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think it's more accurate, actually, that power is like money. It just accentuates who you are. So if you're a kind, loving person and you get power, then you become more like, Mother Teresa. You use your power for good and for service, if that's what's in your heart. If you're very corrupt and, somebody gives you power, then you're going to become more corrupt because you're going to have the ability to use your power for corrupt means. I think money is the same way. If you're generous, you become more generous. I mean, maybe money and power does change people a little bit, but I think that people are fundamentally who they are. I had an occasion at one point where I felt forced to sue another company, and because I was a pro se, they say that I'm laughing because there's some truth to this. They say that only a fool represents themselves. I could have hired a lawyer, but I decided to be a pro se after talking with a few lawyers and feeling like they didn't take it with the same degree of diligence that I would take it in terms of research and presentation, that kind of thing. I don't believe in micromanaging, but I think on the important things that. But anyway, what I found in the system, in the legal system, I don't know if it's just pro se's in general or in my case, but got totally the runaround by the judge. And I don't know if it's just an isolated case or whether this is more general. I did do an appeal, and I felt the same way someone on the appeal, but less so. So I think some judges are different than others. And obviously, I was I was the person doing the litigation. So I'm not saying I'm biased in my perspective, but I'm involved in the case. So I have, that. But just living my life and dealing in a lot of situations. Considering myself a very reasonable person and actually probably get taken advantage of a lot in my life. I try to always believe in cooperation and collaboration, and I'm very collaboratively focused. But in this regard, specifically, a judge, and obviously not naming the company, not naming the state or the system or the specific court or judge or anything like that. I had to do between the two cases probably 30 filings and briefs, just because every time I would do a brief or a filing, they would say it wasn't correct, but they wouldn't tell me what was wrong with it. They just said it's not correct, we're not going to accept it. And so I'd have to do my own research and make changes, and it was just one thing after another. So then when I fixed what they wanted, then the judge would do an order without explanation that we want this done. So that's called moving the goalpost. When you meet one criteria, then they change it to doing something else. And I just felt like there's no really accountability with judges. I mean, there's no way you can really, that I'm aware of, do judicial misconduct or anything like that. The judges are just immune. They can say and do whatever they want. I did, like I said, probably 15, maybe 20, maybe 30. I mean, just a huge number. I don't know the exact number, but of filings and briefs. And every one, they said, we're going to reject this, or if I finally made the changes that they wanted without them telling me what the changes are, that they would move the goalposts and come and And I just felt like this is such a corrupt, system. I wonder if other pro se's go through that, or whether judges could just do and say whatever they want. Even if you meet all the criteria, they could just come up with new criteria. And then when you meet those new criteria, they could just come up with new criteria. I mean, it's just, I had no idea that anything like this existed.